But we want to appreciate you for your presence to be with us here tonight for yet another edition of the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe Superbrands, where we get to appreciate the biggest brands in Zimbabwe that have made Zimbabwe to be where it is, as we do our best to keep our economy growing. Thank you. But for us to get there, we call upon Mr. Gillian Rusike, who is Marketing Association of Zimbabwe Executive Secretary, to give us our welcome remarks. Could we all put our hands together for Mr. Rusike as he's making his way to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Our Honorable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services and the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe patron, Senator Monica Mtsvangwa, here ably represented tonight by the Deputy Minister, Honorable Kindness Paradza. Thank you, sir, for gracing this event. Representing Industry and Commerce Minister, Dr. Sekai Nzenza, is Acting Director, Quality Assurance in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Mervyn Chirau. Thank you, sir, for gracing tonight. Our guest speaker from Zambia, all the way from Zambia, who is the president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Mwewa Besa. Thank you, sir, for coming through to Zimbabwe. MAZ outgoing president, Professor Zororo Muranda. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion. Our incoming president, Ms. Lillian Mbaiwa, thank you, ma'am, for coming through tonight. The vice president of MAZ, Mrs. Emilia Mabika, thank you, ma'am, for being part of us tonight. The chairperson of the Superbrand Adjudication Committee, Mr. Azar Khan, thank you, sir, for being with us tonight. The MAZ past presidents, I see Mr. Dube here. Thank you, sir, who is also the chairman of the Advisory Council. I see Ms. Ruth, Mr. Agrippa Mgwagwa. These are past presidents of MAZ. It's a very good evening to you. MAZ board members here present. Superbrand adjudicators here present. Superbrand partners, including the media fraternity. It's a pleasure to host you tonight. Brand custodians, captains of industry, MAZ management and staff here present. It is indeed a pleasant evening to you all and a warm welcome to the 14th edition of the Superbrand Awards. Firstly, allow me to extend a note of gratitude to everybody here because your presence has made this event what it is. You are looking lovely, everybody. Let's just clap hands for ourselves. Thank you so much for putting an effort to look lovely as you have done. Let me also extend my gratitude to our guest of honor, Honorable Paradza, here representing our patron, Honorable Monica Mtsvangwa, our guest speaker all the way from Zambia for gracing the event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here for the Superbrand Awards, which have become a feature on the business calendar because of the importance of our brands which build our economy. The Superbrand concept is an international concept that has been adopted in Zimbabwe since 2009 and has been an annual event since then. This year's Superbrand Awards are held under the theme Brand Relevancy and Dominance in the Age of the New Customer. Why the new customer? There are a lot of things that have happened or that are taking place in our market, and the customers have completely changed and transformed. This theme mainly focuses on how brands can meet up the demand and needs of the new age customer as they are shifting from the old preferences due to the circumstances like technological advancements, purchasing power, and influence of the social media. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to thank everyone that came forward to make this event a success. Special thanks to our sponsors, in particular our title sponsors, Zim Switch and Zim Gold. Let's just give them a pump pump. Thank you, Zim Switch. We really appreciate you for making this event a success. I would like to mention and appreciate all the other sponsors we have come through for the event. I will mention the sponsors, RNL, thank you so much. Left Red, thank you so much. Outland Security, we are well safe and protected, thank you so much. Coca-Cola, we really appreciate you. It's all love through and through. Yes, thank you, Coca-Cola. Pro Brands, we thank you so much. Den Dairy, Kefalos. Oh, thank you. I'll go slowly so that people can clap their hands. Truettes, for dressing our ushers. If you see our ushers, they are dressed by Truettes. The ladies, we want to thank you, Truettes. Image Magic Corporate, gifts and clothing. Thank you, Image Magic. We really appreciate you. Econet Wireless, we thank you so much. MedTech, Prochem, St. Clair, the Legas Car Rental, Nemchem, Premier Corporate Gifts, Tenel, Agricura, PPC, Ivins, Chicken Inn, Air Zimbabwe. Just for Air Zimbabwe, they are giving out 2 tickets return for 2 people. So that's 4 people, right? To Victoria Falls. So today, you can win a ticket, a holiday for yourself and your spouse to go to Victoria Falls. Yes, thank you. Somebody wants a ticket there. I think the first person to clap is getting a ticket. Please, Jambari, take note. They need to get a ticket for themselves and their spouse. Eco Cash, no. Eco Cash Holdings, thank you. The Victoria Fruit, we really appreciate. Simbisa Brands, Expert Vessels, Insight Owner, Proton, Nyarazo, Delta Beverages, we are all taken care of. Thank you, Delta, for the refreshments. Mamas, Schweppes Holdings, thank you so much. Schweppes Holdings Africa Limited, 3K TV, we are going to be live on TV. Canes, as well as our media partners, we include Zim Papers, Newsday, Daily News, 3K TV once again, Financial Gazette, ZFM, and ZBC. We really appreciate. Of note, ladies and gentlemen, today we have gathered here not just to celebrate the achievements of the best brands, but to applaud the zeal and compassion of the brands to meet the customers' needs and demands. The Superbrand Awards are a way to encourage and inculcate competition among companies so as to produce the best for our customers and the country, Zimbabwe. All winning teams are goal-oriented. Teams like these win consistently because everyone connected with them concentrates on the same objective. I quote, it is a testament that the brands that are winning today have worked hard as a team to be named amongst the best in Zimbabwe. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, allow me at this juncture to invite the chairperson of the advisory council, Mr. Dube. I kindly request you come forward, say quickly. May I also request the Honorable Minister, may you kindly come up. The outgoing President, Professor Mranda, can you please come through? And Madam Lillian, we ask you to come through. We want to do a very quick handover of offices before we commence our program. May I kindly request that Mr. Dube, you come and take the podium. Thank you so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services and Marketers Association of Zimbabwe patron, Senator Monica Mutswangwa, here represented by the Deputy Minister, Honorable Candice Paradza, Representing Industry and Commerce Minister, Dr. Sekai Nzenza is Acting Director Quality Assurance in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Marvin Chirau. Guest speaker, the President of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Mwewa Besa, Mwese Mkwai. MAZ past presidents, here present. I also notice I've seen our chairman for the organization that I work for, Madam Rose Mpofu. I recognize you. Mine is an easy and also difficult task. As you may be aware, MAZ had held its annual general meeting yesterday, and this meeting ushered in a new dispensation. Let me take this opportunity to call our outgoing president, Professor Zororo Muranda. Yes, he's on stage, he's already on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like, on behalf of the Advisory Council and MAZ membership, I'll take that again, sorry. I would like, on behalf of the Advisory Council and MAZ membership, thank him for holding forth the past 2 years. Thank you, Professor. His tenure came at the peak of COVID-19 pandemic, but we saw lots of initiatives and under his guide. He worked with great passion and commitment and has been almost to all the MAZ functions. Thank you very much, Professor. We will continue to tap into your wisdom. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Dube. The Honorable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, and Marketers Association of Zimbabwe Patron, Senator Monica Mtsangwa, here represented by the Deputy Minister, Honorable Kane Sparaza, Honorable Judge President, Justice Mary Zimbabwe, and her husband, Mr. Godfrey Dube, our former MAZ President, the Honorable Minister of Industry and Commerce, Minister Dr. Sekai Nzenza, represented tonight by the Acting Director of Quality Assurance in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Marvin Chirau, Guest Speaker, President of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Mwewa Besa, the MAZ President, the incoming, Ms. Lillian Baiwa, all protocol observed. It gives me great pleasure to be standing in front of you on this day, 25th November 22, when I'll be exiting my position as the President of the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe for the past 2 years. Thank you for the privilege and opportunity you gave me to serve the association. My tenure came at a time when the COVID-19 pandemic started, and we had to make sure the association continues functioning and adapts to the new normal. I'm happy that under my leadership, the association managed to stay afloat. There was creation of new platforms, such as the Women in Marketing, Pachoto, among others. We also initiated the process of an Act of Parliament, which is still ongoing, and the association recently hosted the first AMC conference successfully, among other great initiatives. As I step down tonight, I'd like to thank you members for the support you rendered me and the association. I would like to thank the board members I work with and the Secretariat for the great job. To my successor, Ms. Mbaiwa, congratulations, and I wish you all the best in this position. I thank you all.
Okay, so the outgoing president is handing over the symbol of the office to the patron, who is represented by the minister. Is surrendering the office. Then the minister will hand over the office to the new president, the incoming chairperson of MAZ. So, Professor, thank you so much. He surrendered the office in front of everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for the enthusiastic support coming from that corner. Those are my colleagues from Old Mutual and some of our stakeholders. Honorable Deputy Minister of Information, Honorable Paradza, government officials here present, captains of industry, management and board of Marketers Association of Zimbabwe, both past and present, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply appreciative and inspired by the confidence placed in me by the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe, with an unswerving resolve to honor that trust. I humbly accept the appointment. I wish to express my deepest respect and appreciation to the outgoing president, current leadership, and fellow members of this prestigious association. I follow in a line of remarkable leaders who each made important and lasting contributions to our common goal in upholding the role of significance of strategic marketing within a global community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you all a great evening.
Thank you very much to our guest of honor for overseeing the handover process. Thank you. You may all take your seats. Let me hand over to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Priscilla Goku. I'm a representative of Grant Thornton. We are the external auditors of Marketers Association of Zimbabwe. We performed the procedures agreed with the Board of Directors of Marketers Association of Zimbabwe and enumerated below with respect to Superbrands 2022. Our engagement was undertaken in accordance with the international standards on related services applicable to agreed upon procedures engagements. The procedures were performed solely to assist you in determining whether the ranking of the brands surveyed were in accordance with the rules, regulations, procedures set out by the Adjudication Committee of MAZ. The procedures we undertook are as follows. We obtained an understanding of the Superbrands concept, the underlying terms, conditions, criteria, rules, regulations, and procedures. We received, reviewed, recalculated, and validated the accuracy of the completed scoring booklets received from the selection panel. We recomputed the results as per the spreadsheets prepared by the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe and compared such to the booklets received from the selection panel. We compared and validated the final scores of the shortlisted brands to spreadsheets per procedure 2 above. Summarization of the scores from the scoring booklet to the spreadsheet to determine the shortlist of the top 200 brands. We attended the briefing conducted for select research interviewers and verified whether the process was conducted in accordance with the Adjudication Committee rules and regulations and procedures. We inspected the sample size as agreed between Marketers Association of Zimbabwe and the selected research to verify whether the sample size was correctly adopted during the survey by physically counting all questionnaires. We also confirmed the data analyzed was based on all the questionnaires that we completed for this purpose. And lastly, we observed the date entry process to ascertain whether all the required validation procedures were performed. And according to all the procedures that we performed, we did not find any issues, and everything was done according to the adjudication rules, regulations, and set out procedures. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The Honourable Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services and Marketers Association of Zimbabwe patron, Senator Monica Mutsvanga, here represented by Deputy Minister Honourable Kindness Baraza, Acting Director Quality Assurance in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Mervyn Chirao, representing Minister Dr. Sekai Nyenza, Guest Speaker, President of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Memwa Mesa, MAZ President, Ms. Lillian Mbaiwa, welcome. MAZ Outgoing President, Professor Zorora Miranda, MAZ Vice President, Mrs. Emilia Mabika, MAZ Executive Secretary, Mr. Julian Ruseki, MAZ Past Presidents, Dr. Godfrey Dube, Mr. Agripa Mugaiwa, Ms. Ruth Mube, and Mr. Tapua Mandimutsira. MAZ board members and advisory council members, Superbrand adjudicators, Superbrand partners, including the media fraternity, who make brands who they are today, brand custodians, captains of industry, MAZ management and staff here present, and all those who made the efforts to make this event such an amazing and wonderful event tonight. Please give them a warm hand of applause. It's my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, as the chair, to present you with the 2022 Superbrand overview. Before I give a rundown of what took place during 2022 Superbrand season, I'd like to acknowledge and appreciate the solid group of professionals that made up part of this adjudication committee. I'll ask them to stand as I call out their names. Mr. Dennis Waller, Vice Chair of the National Bakers Association of Zimbabwe. Thank you. Mr. Denwood Mutashu, Retailers Confederation of Zimbabwe. Ms. Rose Nkofu, Consumer Council of Zimbabwe. Ms. Karen Gondo, the Entrepreneurs Network of Zimbabwe. Ms. Florence Chirwa, the Shipping and Forwarding Agents Association of Zimbabwe. Ms. Nyasha Choga, Mrs. Nyasha Choga, please, Bankers Association of Zimbabwe. And Mr. Farai Chimba, Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe. Our task was to oversee the Superbrand research process, which included the moderation of the research questionnaire, field research, oversight and verification and endorsement of the results independently and transparently. Ladies and gentlemen, from the very beginning, the consumer was very much a determinant factor in this research. The consumer continues to be the backbone of the Superbrand process, from the shortlisting of 200 brands to the Superbrand winners. The auditors, Grant Thornton, and our research work, Expert Research Insights, XRI, known as XRI, worked with us throughout the process, right from enlisting the top 200 brands in field research, data capturing, to the final listing of the Superbrand winners. I'm glad to inform you that these are the only awards in the country whose process is so vigorously verified.
We know that brands are valuable assets, hence we leave no stone unturned. The Superbrand Awards are not entered by self-nomination or even from nominations by colleagues, but the consumers of the products and services make the effort from the start to the end of the process. The 2022 Superbrand research was nationwide, covering all 10 provinces. Our target sample was 3,000, 1,500 for business to business and 1,500 for business to consumer. We did 2,983 interviews, 1,495 for B2C and 1,488 for B2B. In the B2B category, sector interviews ranged from agriculture, banking, finance and insurance, education, manufacturing, science and technology and ICT, security, tourism, to the hotel and hospitality and retail outlets. More in-depth chart-based analysis of demographics will be in sectorial reports, and there will be more filtering in visual customization of data-based sectors. We continued with digital technology using internationally recognized data collection known as Survey2Go. It is an application which uses electronic gadgets, enabling us to manage interviewers' movements in real time with the use of GPS tracking and location systems to optimize our desired reach. We want to bring your attention to the issue of sectorial reports. While today's awards will bring joy and some tears to those, uncovering the story behind the feelings is absolutely essential for us as judging. It is not just about knowing whether you won an award or not. It is also about getting clear about how the results came to be. After these awards, MAZ will be preparing sectorial reports which will give an in-depth comparison of how brands in each sector performed against their competition in terms of the Superbrand variables. These will be available for all the brands as an information tool. We want to thank Grant Thornton for conducting an audit to determine whether the ranking of the brands surveyed was per rules and regulations and procedures set out by the Adjudication Committee of 2002, MAZ Superbrand. And we also want to thank Select Research for their research support in this project. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege and honor to be part of the system behind the country's most prominent business research and business event, Superbrands. Special congratulations to the brands that made it to the top 20 business-to-business positions, the top 20 business-to-consumer winners, and the sectorial winners that will be recognized today. Again, ladies and gentlemen, many of you here are curious to know which brands fared this year, and in the past 2 years, the shift has been to services and cleaning detergents, mainly due to COVID-19. However, this year we observed normalcy in almost all the sectors as the situation normalized and the significant return to luxury goods and services has happened. We urge these brands to continue reinventing themselves, increasing the customer experiences and satisfying customers. To those who didn't make it, this coming year presents an opportunity for self-introspection and customer engagement, and remain that at the heart of your customers. Together with the team of adjudicators, we warmly wish everyone here tonight a memorable experience. Thank you so much, and good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khan, our chairperson, for the Superbrand adjudication team.
Let me start by saying that what a privilege it is to talk to all of you, and let me start by acknowledging all the dignitaries here. My job here is a pretty simple one. I have to talk about the thing which I which we all cherish the most in Zimgold, which is the Zimgold brand. So, if we want to talk about Zimgold, I want to take you to a journey which started 9 years back when Zimgold started, Look, it's a pretty young brand. Like all of my colleagues sitting there, our young colleagues there. Can we have a round of applause for all of my colleagues there? So it's a very, very young brand. We started with, just one category, which was cooking oil. And from primarily one SKU, which was the 2-liter SKU. And from that a journey 9 years back, we have grown to now 5 categories and many SKUs across those categories. So, if you talk about the categories, what all categories are we present in? I just want, because we are not just a cooking oil company, we are much more than that. So, obviously cooking oil is our bread and butter and everything else, but we are also present in margarine, where we do light as well as the margarine. Then we also do Zim Bright, which is right there. You can see the lady holding the green bar, which is for our laundry segment. And then we are also present in a lot of B2B categories. All the soya meal in this country, almost 65% of it goes from our factory. So if you're eating chicken, chances are very high that the soya meal for that chicken went from one of our factories. We also do baker's fat. All our partners, for all the baking industry, all the bread companies, they buy from us. So we're present in a lot of categories, and we are adding even more every day, for which we'll talk about soon. So, of all the categories that we are present in, and I'm sure you guys being in the marketing, you would have noticed that cooking oil category is one of the most intensely competitive categories currently. You must have heard about the cola wars, but currently there is a cooking oil wars going on in this country. So we are happy to tell you that in this intense competition, 1 out of every 2 bottles sold in this country is of Zimgold. So thanks a lot for all your support, and we are happy and delighted and privileged to carry on with this trusteeship of the brand. But at the same time, we welcome this competition a lot because competition brings out the best from all of us. It brings out value for the consumers. And with all this competition in the category, we are happy to tell you that we have completely replaced imports of bottled cooking oil in this country. Even when the prices were so high, we heard a lot of complaints, but not even one bottle of South African bottled cooking oil came into this country. So well done to all my colleagues for making sure that we give the best value to the consumers. We also want to talk about some of the marketing initiatives, because this is where I get judged by all of you, or Leslie also gets judged. So we did millionaire promotion, which I'm sure a lot of you must have heard, and we just concluded that, and we had a huge response from everybody across the country. We had over 150,000 people participating in that whole promotion, and we are happy. This is our 3rd year of doing this promotion, and we hope to continue doing it every year. This has become a very nice property for us, which we will want to continue. So apart from that, there is another thing which we are very passionate about, which is basically indigenizing the whole oilseed production in this country. So we work a lot with farmers, especially in the oilseed sector. We have been very big buyers of soybean in this country. Everybody and anybody who grows soybean Zimgold is one of their preferred customers. And this year we have embarked on another very ambitious initiative, wherein we are trying to indigenize the sunflower production in this country. So at this point of time, we have sort of, let me just go to the slide now that this is working. This is, so you can see, as you can see, we are distributing free seeds, free sunflower seeds to primarily smallholder farmers across the country. And I'm happy to tell you that till today we have distributed seeds worth of 110,000 hectares in this country, and over 60,000 farmers have benefited from it. We hope that by next year a large percentage of sunflower production will be localized. And when these farmers are ready to market these products, they will be happy to buy this crop at a currency of their choice. So we want to create a very competitive value chain for sunflower in this country, and farmers should be paid the best prices and will be paid the best prices which are there in the market. So we are very passionate about the community. We do a lot of CSR events there, but there are particularly two which I want to talk about. We sponsored deserving science graduates to pursue a 2-year MTech course in India. So this is our 4th year of organizing it, and I must say that 8 deserving students have already benefited from it. As you can see, 2 lovely girls there sitting in an auto rickshaw in India. And they go to learn in one of the best universities in the country. It is called Indian Institute of Technology. You must Google it. It is the top notch. And that is our little effort towards making sure that these deserving students get the best of education. We also do community heroes, wherein we want you to nominate people from your communities who do wonderful work in their communities, and we reward them with 1-year supply of cooking oil. So we should be doing this very soon on our social media. So if you have somebody who is deserving, please do nominate them, and we will be happy to take care of a small aspect of their cooking oil needs. This brings me to one of the more interesting aspects of the presentation. I carried this water bottle, and you must be seeing it on all your tables. So this is the launch event for ZimPure. This is our newest baby from ZimGold. So please do give your love and support like you have given to ZimGold. And this is our newest offering from the house of ZimGold. So happy, there couldn't have been a better occasion to launch it, and we are happy to do it in the Superbrand Awards. And we also have one of the other offerings which will be out very soon, which is on the bathing soap range. We are going to launch 4 different variants, one for everybody in the family. It's called Aura. Sadly, this thing has gone off, otherwise I would have showed you, but this is, let that be a secret. You'll soon see it in the stores. Thanks a lot. You've been a wonderful audience. That was all from me. Thank you so much.
Good evening. You are looking wonderful. I think you deserve another round of applause. I was thinking, this is awesome. Perfect event. And for a moment, Honorable Deputy Minister, I was thinking, wow, I think they've beaten us on all fronts until you stood up to sing the national anthem. I think we've beaten you on that front. My ask is perhaps we spend a little bit more time to learn our national anthem. I probably could have sung better than you if I had been here for more than a day. Thank you so much. Allow me to ride on the protocols that have already been established. And certainly, I'm also mindful of time, and therefore, you allow me, guest of honor, to proceed with my presentation for the evening. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, I count it a great privilege to be at this year's Superbrands Award presentation dinner as guest speaker. I'm humbled that for 2 consecutive years, you have graced us with the privilege of speaking at this event, and to me, this is enough evidence of your commitment to pushing the bar and taking the lead in thrusting forward with the preparations for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. I have no doubt that you could have asked anyone from within or outside the continent to come and grace this occasion, and they would have come running. It is therefore with great humility that I stand before you tonight to share a few thoughts that I feel are befitting during this season we are in, and also as we seek to reposition ourselves and future-proof our organizations, and of course the brands that we have that have brought us here tonight. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, with your indulgence, please allow me to pay you back for your generosity by veering away from the theme as prepared, and allow me to focus or to share with you on the subject that I've dubbed excellence, excelling in the face of adversity. If you may wish to paraphrase that, please just say, I am standing, and that will be your theme for my short presentation. Considering that this evening is about celebrating brands that have stood out and earned the support of customers and judges alike, I have therefore resisted the temptation of going into branding theory and talking about the issues of the 4 C's or what it takes to create a sustainable brand, especially that the world today is talking about sustainability and ensuring that we leave the world better than we found it. Much as those may be important and critical for us to assimilate and ensure that they form part of the core of our brand strategy, it is, however, not the focus of my discussion tonight. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, my thoughts are around COVID-19 pandemic that we are just fighting to overcome. In China, sadly, they seem to have the mother of all, as they are still having some travel restrictions, and the numbers do not seem to be receding anytime soon. Owing to the ravaging effects of the pandemic, there are some companies that just failed to survive, while some filed for bankruptcy protection and others outrightly closed shop. And I'm glad here, from what I've heard, you are standing and we are standing, and therefore I believe we deserve a round of applause for that. If you observe the period just when COVID-19 hit, there was a lot of confusion, with most world leaders seemingly lost for answers. Our own leaders at some point kept following what the West was doing. When London imposed travel bans, we also imposed travel bans. When London relaxed the restrictions, we also relaxed our restrictions. This was done without any empirical evidence and no consideration for any correlation or the lack thereof between our country and the United Kingdom. At the core of the challenges of the ravaging pandemic, there were some organizations that chose to reinvent themselves and look at the opportunity that was in this pandemic. My guess is that some of the brands we are celebrating or recognizing tonight are those that chose to excel in the face of the pandemic, and so they are standing tonight. Alcohol manufacturers suddenly developed a different line that was not associated with them prior to the pandemic, and they started manufacturing hand sanitizers as they were in short supply during the pandemic. Rolls-Royce, Ford, General Motors, and many more suddenly moved from the manufacturing of motor vehicles or plane engines to manufacturing ventilators and other respiratory devices during the pandemic. Even Tesla followed in this path. Perhaps that explains how today is able to afford to buy Twitter. Gildan, a North American sportswear manufacturer, started making personal protective equipment, PPEs. M3 moved from stationery to manufacturing of face masks. The list is endless. But the point I'm seeking to drive home is that while adversity may be bad, there lies within it an opportunity that is calling for those that are discerning to move and turn the adversity into an opportunity. If we are going to be leaders that are going to spur the continent and usher us into the next paradigm, we must be ready to stare adversity in the face in search of an opportunity and take advantage of that opportunity to maximize returns, brand equity, and shareholder value. One of the banks, if I may share, in Zambia, hit a record 1 billion kwacha profit after tax in 2021 financial year. And in 2022, this year, 3 banks are projecting to hit 1 billion on their profit after tax. What has been the major cause of that? If you ask me, it is COVID-19 pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, some banks were closing as late as 2,100 hours, attracting overtime, taxi, and dinner costs, not to mention higher health costs due to the long working hours resulting in poor work-life balance that left half the staff stressed and prone to the weakest opportunistic attack. For bankers, I'm sure you know that staff cost is one of the biggest costs that a bank has to deal with. And the COVID-19 resolved that as it pushed most transactions to digital platforms and reduced the need for cash. As a result, banks today are actually able to provide more service without any physical or with very minimal service, physical interaction with their customers. Not to mention them being able to close by 1,400 hours as opposed to 2,100 hours. So you can imagine the savings. Guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic was an ugly development that robbed us of our loved ones and disrupted a lot of things. At a much closer and personal level, we lost our president of the Zambia Institute of Marketing to this ravaging disease. And so I use the illustration of the banks bagging that level of profitability in the face of a crisis to help drive the point that for us to future-proof our brands and respective organizations, we must start seeing opportunities in situations where others are seeing challenges. That is a true mark of a marketer of tomorrow. When your back is up against the wall, you must develop the resilience that will enable you to counter the effects of any attack, opportunistic or deliberate. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, this is so true for Zimbabwe and most of the countries in the region, owing to the sanctions that have been imposed on this country for many years now. Part of the lifeline you need to be able to look at is the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which is poised to open up the whole continent of Africa to allow for free mobility of both service as well as goods. With this intervention alone, it follows then that Zimbabwean brands must be ready to compete, not just in Mashonaland or Matebeleland, but they should be able to be accepted in the Great Lakes, in Kisumu in Kenya, in Port Harcourt in Nigeria, Alexandria in Egypt, and indeed in any corner of the African continent. To the winners for tonight, I want to encourage you not to make the award that will be presented to you tonight as the ultimate, but rather you must aspire to make your product stand out across the continent and globally. I would like to prod you further to set your bar higher than the restrictive environment within which you operate. And when all is said and done, you should excel in the face of adversity. Choose to stand. Finally, allow me to remind you that the need to drive national brand is as important as it is to drive your organizational as well as your product, more especially when you start pushing your product beyond your national boundaries. I must, however, hasten to say that this action will come with pre-existing stereotypes and sentiments that form the narrative around Zimbabwe as a brand. My challenge to the brand champions here present is that you must take responsibility and you use the tools at your disposal to rewrite the narrative about this brand called Zimbabwe. As professionals in the area of brand communication, take it upon yourselves to rewrite the narrative around Zimbabwe, and you once again soar to greater heights and take back Zimbabwe to its lost glory and a food basket for the region that was a manufacturing hub. That was a manufacturing hub from which you could procure pretty much anything. In spite of your challenges and adversity you are faced with, I encourage you to buckle up, take a stand, and excel in the face of that adversity. I encourage you to stand. Siyabonga, Tinotenda, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening to you all. May I recognize the events directors, Tinashe and Chamvari. Thank you so much. May I recognize MAZ President, Madam Lillian Baiwa. May I also recognize the former MAZ President, Mr. Godfrey Dube. May I recognize our guest speaker, the President of the Zambia Institute of Marketing, Mr. Muya Besa Muriwanshe Amfumu, Mushekai Dimvera. Thank you so much. May I recognize the Acting Director in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, who is representing Minister Nzenza. May I also recognize the MAZ outgoing President, Professor Zororo Mranda, MAZ Vice President, Mrs. Emilia Mabika, and MAZ Executive Secretary, Mr. Gillian Rusike, the Chairperson of the Superbrand Education Committee, Mr. Azakan, the MAZ past presidents who are here, Mr. Agripa Mgwagwa, Ms. Ruth Mule, and Mr. Tepua Mandumutsira, MAZ board members and advisory council members, Superbrand brand adjudicators, Superbrand partners, including members of the media fraternity, brand custodians, captains of industry, MAZ management and staff, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to convey greetings to you from my boss, Honorable Minister Monica Mchangwa, who really wanted to be here for this event tonight. Is your patron, but she could not be here due to other competing events. She is currently shooting a movie in Bollywood, India. I'm joking, but she's in India. Therefore, as a 2IC, I'm here on her behalf. So it really is my singular honor and privilege to officiate at this momentous occasion, once again, as we recognize and celebrate brands that excelled beyond others in their respective markets. I feel humbled to be among not only marketers, but also captains of industry and brand custodians who are working extra hard to ensure availability of products and services on our domestic market and beyond. This occasion is also a representation of the developments that the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe has made to uplift the marketing profession and promote the value of business and brands in Zimbabwe and across our borders. The Second Republic applauds you for this. As the nation glides towards the achievement of Vision 2030, this event is one of many that reminds us of the perseverance and willingness of Zimbabweans to build their country and the willingness to build their country stone upon stone, brick by brick, as His Excellency President Itim Mnangagwa has always said, Nika inovakwa nevinevai. Ladies and gentlemen, if we don't produce the best products and services ourselves, no one will do that for us. I'm told this year's awards are being held under the theme Brand Relevance and Dominance in the Age of the New Customer.
Brand relevance is very important in this digital era where the customer is not passive but well informed and has an assortment of choices from the wider world thanks to the privileges of ICTs. We know for sure that brands have to be relevant to the customer all the time, as consumers are now more empowered and can air their views through social media. Now more than ever before, Zimbabwean customers are now aware of their rights. Social media has given brand custodians the power to build or destroy brands. As the brand custodians and marketers, let us ensure that we are on top of the game. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the world witnessed the power of social media. Social media taught us to shift from the conventional ways of relaying information to supplying customers with information real time. There is a graveyard of seemingly dead on arrival brands. Lessons are that the middle of the road approach is no longer the best approach to marketing and brand vibrancy. Instead, there is no substitute to systematic and continuous scanning of the online environment in order to understand customer behavior. This is because in the ever-evolving world of marketing, a larger chunk of the future market for our products and services is migrating to the digital and online enterprises. Technological innovations are making it not only fashionable but necessary to create a growing digital footprint for consumers who we seek to reach and serve. As marketers, we must build successful, viable e-commerce platforms, build websites with information needed for the consumer, as well as increasing trading on the internet. Let's be innovative and creative, as this is the basis upon which enduring brand image is created. Ladies and gentlemen, as government, we've made strides and signed a number of trade agreements with other African countries, and this is important to you as you have to build brands that cascade borders. This has been necessitated through the Second Republic's mantra, Zimbabwe is open for business. We implore you to follow up the channels opened up for trade to take brand Zimbabwe to the shelves of other countries. According to International Trade and Administration website, in 2020, Zimbabwe's digital expenditure as a proportion of consumer spending per capita was minimal at 0.3% relative to that for Africa, which averaged 1.3%. This is attributed to the low internet penetration of 41.7% in 2020. The low internet penetration is said to have constrained Zimbabwe's e-commerce growth back then. Obviously, this has changed as more and more of e-marketing and internet connectivity improved. Total revenue in e-commerce market amounted to $99.7 million, accounting for 56.7% of the US $202 million total digital revenue in 2020. Of course, these statistics are 2 years behind. In 2021, total revenue from e-commerce rose to $341 million, dominated by beverages, followed by electronics and fashion. The smallest contributor to e-commerce revenue was media, at just over $6 million in 2021. It is also noted that due to years of cash shortages, electronic payments via debit cards and mobile applications have become common, with the Zimbabweans conducting 96% of their commercial transactions via mobile phones. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President, it is a fact that we consume a lot of imported products. Through the power of marketing, we know that Zimbabwean products can occupy shelves in neighboring countries, markets and beyond. I therefore employ marketers to develop sellable brands whose appeal extends across regional or continental markets to ensure a strong economy that contributes to improved livelihood for our citizens. As you may be aware, government is in the process of rebranding the country so that it competes favorably among the community of nations in all sectors of the economy. The goodwill accrued from owning a positive brand and image is invaluable. The Zimbabwe is open for business policy, along with overarching Vision 2030 of an empowered and prosperous upper middle income economy, attests to President Mnangagwa's desire to discard negative appendages that have weighed down and soiled Zimbabwe's image. These policies are opening more avenues for Zimbabwe to export its products and services around the world. Let's ride on these policies and penetrate regional and international markets. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President, coincidentally, Zimbabwe is celebrating the Buy Zimbabwe Week, which was recently launched by His Excellency President E.D. Mnangagwa. The Buy Zimbabwe campaign is a clarion call for our people to buy more Zimbabwean-made products through expanding markets access for the local brands. I therefore encourage the citizenry to support our local brands and companies for the creation of jobs and wealth. Distinguished guests, I implore you to build brands with a purpose. The question therefore is, for you marketers, what are you doing for business sustainability? What is your brand contributing to corporate social responsibility and climate change? These are key points to consider as we build our brands. Let us have purpose and consider the environment as well as give back to the society that we are operating in. We could be doing a disservice to future generations if our businesses are not sustainable and are not sensitive to climate change related issues. In addition, as government, we continue to fight to open the airwaves to encourage media accessibility. As the Second Republic, we've licensed 6 free-to-air television channels, including a glut of radio stations, 14 community radio stations, 8 campus radio stations, and we are also in the process of giving out licenses to provincial radio stations and to community television stations. Not only that, we are amending the Broadcasting Services Act to make sure that we also allow foreign investors to get shareholdings of up to 40% in the broadcasting sector, including 40% directorship. So we are opening up. The more the media channels we have, the more platforms for marketing our brands locally and globally. Some of the citizens of these nations do not know the products that are manufactured locally. Today, I stand here to challenge you to make use of the channels on air to market our products and services so that the citizens have an appreciation of what we have and what we can do. With these few remarks, I would like to congratulate all those who will be accorded the Superbrand status this evening and encourage them to make the most of such recognitions. It should not only end in receiving a trophy, but also should actually accentuate brand excellence. Let this event motivate others to work harder towards achieving their goals and indeed even exceeding their potential in their own quest for excellence. Have a good and fruitful night. I thank you.
Overall Superbrand winner in the car hire sector. Do we have a representative coming to the stage? Yes, we do.
Congratulations to Impala Car Rental for coming up tops in the car hire sector for the year 2022.
And I like the fact that she dressed accordingly to her brand. Please put your hands together for her. And welcome. them both as they come onto the stage.
Congratulations, Impala Car Rental. The winner in the car hire sector for the year 2022, sponsored by NEMCAM, the professional choice.
As we move on to
PPC, the winners in the construction company sector. Thank you and congratulations.
And now we move on to the print media sector. Remember, second and first runner-up go into the foyer to receive your award, and the winner comes onto the stage. Second runner-up, Daily News. First runner-up, Newsday.
And the winner is the Herald. Congratulations to the Herald for being the winner in the print media sector, with the first runner being Newsday, the second runner Daily News. Congratulations to the Herald. Congratulations, a big round of applause to the Herald, being the winner in the print media sector 2022.
We move on to the detergents. We move on to the detergents and disinfection and hygiene solution sector. Second runner-up, Multi-Clean. First runner-up, Hygienic Services.
And the winner is NEMCAM. Congratulations to NEMCAM for being the winner.
Please put your hands together for NEMCAM.
Congratulations, NEMCAM, the professional choice. As they come through, NEMCAM, congratulations. We move on to the crop production agricultural sector. Congratulations.
To the freight, logistics and transport sector. Freight.
Willard Sparks. As we're getting ready for the FMCG spreads sector. Second runner.
Wait. You cannot be Zimbabwean if you do not know. Exactly. Right. Second runner up, Sanjay. batai kubata, and batai moyo, batai kubata, batai moyo, batai kubata, and batai moyo, batai kubata, dimmo, unon zwisa, dimmo, unon izira, dimmo, unon zwisa, dimmo. Bate, batai moyo, batai kumata, batai moyo, batai kumata. Shoko, kusimutanano,